Okay, now there's going to be a delay there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I was there for the 24-hour thing. I know all about the delay.
All right. So the first thing we need to do is just for somebody to... I want someone to tweet me any kind of question to make... Okay, never mind. We got one, so never mind. That works. But I also want people to tell us if the sound is working. And once you see someone else say that the sound is working, that's fine. We don't need 285 people saying it. Unless, of course, 285 people wish to say it. There's only 88 people watching anyway. Okay, folks, introduction. Of course, as the host of the Dice Tower, my name's Tom Vasel. Today we have... What does Witness Miami even mean?
For anyone who follows the Miami Heat, this is the official slogan of the Miami Heat. LeBron James. We're already in the second round while every other game is going into Game 7. Hopefully the Pacers lose. Sorry for those out in Indiana. But
Okay, first of all, you're not sorry. Secondly, Miami is really ridiculous when it comes to liking the Heat. Really, they are.
Yeah.
If you ever want evidence of a front-runner city, this is it. And I'll tell you why. Because everyone around here loves the Heat. The Dolphins and the Marlins get no love.
I go to Marlins games. I go to Dolphins games.
And you wouldn't even know that we had a hockey team.
That's because they're the Florida Panthers. You wouldn't even know they're from Miami. They're just a Florida
Well, they'll
Panthers.
probably change. Okay, well, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about board games. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be taking questions through Twitter. So if you would like to, it's at the Dice Tower, at THEDICETOWER. So if you send us a question through Twitter, we're going to give those priority because I want to see how that works. And then we're going to, we'll also take questions on the YouTube channel, which dropped down to 37 people. Huh. Well, anyhow, that's fine. We're glad 37 people are watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just makes it more personal.
Well, it went back up to 80.
Guys.
Okay. So
Whatever
obviously
it
the
is,
numbers aren't working.
It's more personal, so...
All right, so the first question from Twitter is, which one of you is the worst loser?
It's funny about this because
You're going to say that you never lose.
No, not that I never lose, but my feeling is that Tom is a worse loser because Tom always says to me that I'm a poor winner. I'm not a poor loser at all. We play games and I lose and I'm like, okay, let's discuss the game. Tell me about your awesomeness, how you won. But I'm the same way when I win. I always want to talk about the awesomeness of the strategy of winning. So Tom always says I'm a poor winner, never a poor loser, though.
I would like to say that probably between us, I might be the worst loser, but I think the fact is that neither one of us really cares that much. Jason's one of the few people that I'll play as hard as I can against every time, just because he's probably going to win anyway. But I don't really care if I lose. Now, I might yell during the game of Marvel Dice Masters when my dice all are drawn poorly and roll poorly. But
we played 2 games before this of Dice Masters, and I did win both.
okay.
It's an awesome game if you guys haven't played it yet.
But let's talk about the winning of both of those because I believe you were down to like 2 or 3 life in both of them. So,
Yes, I took some damage in it. It wasn't like I won 20 to nothing, but for those who haven't played it, it's an awesome game. You really should get it. It's amazing.
All right, our next question through Twitter says that you've said that you don't know if Will Wheaton knew who you were. While I can't imagine that was the case, is he a fan, says Joshua. Will Wheaton, just to clarify what happened, Jason won a charity thing where we went to Los Angeles and we played games with Will Wheaton, Jorge Garcia, and Rich Sommer. And I'm still not convinced. Will Wheaton, in the whole conversation, I try not to promote myself. He didn't say anything about the Dice Tower, did he?
He didn't say anything specific, but that's because I don't think he knew about the Dice Tower beforehand, but he definitely does now.
Well, I didn't really talk about Dice Tower. He certainly was, for the first hour or such of the time we played, he was talking about the LA Kings mostly. Which actually got him talking with Jason because...
I used to do hockey. I used to do hockey TV. I don't know if everyone knows, I work in TV, so I used to do Buffalo Sabres broadcast. We had all these... We actually had talked about hockey for a long time. Not the Florida Panthers because they stink. But we were talking about the Sabres when they were good with Dominic Hasek and all, and McGillney and LaFontaine. So we had a interesting conversation about hockey. And no, Will knows a lot of things about not just games, which is kind of cool because no one wants to talk about games all the time. Well, maybe Tom does, but everyone else likes to talk about lots of things.
Right, and I'm gonna get back to Jason in a second, but we played and we talked to him a lot about we talked about odd things. We talked about the indie, like we talked about tabletop, but we didn't talk about like how do you videotape that. We talked about stuff like the Indiegogo campaign and why he picked Indiegogo over Kickstarter.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing was, we didn't do a whole lot of small talk because we really got into the games.
Exactly.
I mean, we really got into those. And then when the games were over, he had to leave, like, right away.
Yeah, because he had to be up at 5 in the morning for a shoot the next day. So it was good that he actually came out and stayed the whole time, which was kind of nice for being up at 5 in the morning. And then he posted on his blog the very next morning all about the experience. And funny thing, which, of course, Tom's always shy about saying these kind of things, but at the end, we gave him a copy of Nothing Personal, and he ripped open the shrink wrap, and he's like, Tom, could you sign my copy? And he wrote all about it the next day on his blog, which was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And so, yeah, that he wrote on the blog. So that was cool. And so anyway, back to Jason. I'm going to give Jason's biography. Jason has been gaming since 1945.
Plus or minus a few years.
Okay, no, but he's been gaming a long time. When did you get into Euro games? Like, when did you hear about Settlers of Catan? Was it when
in 1994 when it came out? Yeah, I was playing Magic in '93 when it came out, and at our store when I was going to college at the time in University of Buffalo, and our store, the guy who owned the store actually had a role playing game, Battle Lords of the 25th Century, that old role playing game, and he also owned a store. We were into Magic heavily at the time, and he's like, I've got this new thing that we just got. It's called Settlers of Catan. And we didn't know it was Catan.
That's right, because it looks like Satan.
Yeah, so we were like, the Settlers of Catan.
Could it be Catan?
We've got to play this. So we pulled it out, we played it, and I'm like, I want it. I want it now. And ever since then, the whole Mayfair line at the time, Settlers, Modern Art, Manhattan, what was the other one? It was Modern Art, Manhattan, and Cleveland Detroit Indie Grand Prix. And I bought the whole set. I was like, I love gaming. I mean,
wow.
I had played before that. I had played Avalon Hill games and stuff way before that. I was playing, Kingmaker, Diplomacy, all the Avalon Hill stuff. But that's when I got into Euros, Settlers Catan back in '94 when it first came out.
Right. I'm going to be calling it Settlers of Catan from now on because that's hilarious. So then Jason's also quite well known at the World Board Gaming Championships because he runs the Liar's Dice tournament there and one other tournament.
Liar's Dice tournament I've been running for 11 years. This will be the 12th. I ran a tourist tournament once. I run a juniors tournament, Igloo Pop for the kids. This year,
Igloo Pop tournament
for the kids. It's for juniors.
I don't care if it's for juniors or not. I think Igloo Pop's hilarious. Pop,
you sit there and go shake, 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 shake.
Oh, I understand that. I just think it's funny that there'd be a tournament for that.
And it's junior tournament. It's for the kids.
He has won many awards at the World Board Gaming Championships.
Yeah.
They call them Woods there. He's won many places, and he's the only person who deliberately got 6th place in a game when he could have gotten first.
That shows how much I care about winning.
Jason has won an Emmy for daytime television, right?
Yeah, I
for his acting.
No. For my graphic design, that's what I do for a living. Graphics for TV, not for acting.
All right,
I'm a terrible actor.
Let's move on. Remember, you can send us questions at the Dice Tower via Twitter. Okay, let's see here. Who in your group is the worst to negotiate with?
I don't know. I'm terrible at negotiation games. So
You are terrible at that, but you still manage to negotiate. I want to know who you think. I think you would say Sam.
He's hard to negotiate with because he always never does anything because he gets grumpy about everything. So, yeah, Sam's pretty hard to negotiate with. I don't think there's anyone that's specifically hard to negotiate with. It's just...
We have a really good group. I mean, we have a big group, obviously, but the core group that we often game with, it's pretty fun to negotiate with.
Yeah.
We backstab each other all the time.
Yeah.
Well, we backstab Jason probably more often than not.
Yeah, I think you guys saw that in the 24-hour game cast.
I saw a lot there. Okay. Will we ever see a top 10 with Jason? Who knows? All right. What are some good next step games to play with my girlfriend? She likes Carcassonne and Forbidden Island a lot. Well, we don't know your girlfriend. So I'll say Forbidden Desert and Ticket to Ride. I don't know. Maybe she'll like Magic the Gathering. Maybe she'll like Axis and Allies. I mean, anyone can like anything, really. You have to kind of figure out what their specific likes and dislikes are.
Yeah, I mean, if you like tile-laying games, there's a whole set of tile-laying games that came out after Carcassonne that are pretty good. So you could get any of those. If you like Forbidden Island, a good step up would be Pandemic, would be the next step up from that. So, or Flashpoint, the fire rescue game. There's a lot of good games that would be the next step up from those games if you want to get her into deeper games.
I see we're getting a lot of questions on both the YouTube and on Twitter, but we're going to get priority to Twitter. We will only go to YouTube questions if we run out of questions on Twitter, because it's easier for us to look straight here. Anyway, let's see. Jason, now that Sam Healy and Z Garcia are not here, which punches harder?
Neither one. They're both wusses.
All right, now here's a question that we were just talking about, because when I play Marvel Dice Masters, I usually put together a team thematically. I'll pick like all X-Men or all Avengers, or I'll pick characters I never used before. I'm always trying to play with all different sorts of things. But if I'm playing Jason, I'm going to try to pull out the best team I can. So they want to know, like, what character set-up combos are you enjoying or have seen dominate? And I told them, I said, let's both pick 8 characters that we think.
And we picked the same. We both picked the super rare Black Widow and the super rare Green Goblin and Captain America, because the 3 of them work the best with the sidekicks, and they're really cheap dice. See, right now, the way the game is set up, if you have cheap dice characters that come out on 2 dice or 3 dice, you can get them out really quick, and you can beat up your opponent before they get a chance to get out those 7 dice characters or the 8 dice characters, those big Hulks and those big Colossuses and all the big ones. So right now the strategy seems to be take the small dice, take 2 dice characters, 3 dice characters, get them out quickly. Characters that work with sidekicks, Captain America, Green Goblin are really good too. At least that's what I found so far.
Well, it was really interesting because we picked 5 characters that were the same.
Yes.
Then the only difference was we picked different Captain Americas, and then you picked Loki. Oh, the 5 characters that we picked the same were Black Widow, Green Goblin,
Captain America, Professor X,
and Black Widow,
and then Ghost Rider. The 2 dice Ghost Rider is one of the best cards in the game.
And then you picked Loki and I picked and who?
And I picked Beast.
Loki and Beast, and I picked Wolverine and Hawkeye.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a good game. Like I said, it's pretty close, but I think some cards are obviously better than others. I think Storm is a good one. A lot of people use. You don't think much of her, but I think that being able to force your opponent to reroll is a big deal.
Storm's okay, but I don't like Storm in the deck. I mean, you never get to it. No, I like Storm. Maybe not Halle Berry's Storm, but I like Storm. It's just Storm's not the best character. There's better characters for 2 dice than Storm, so I'd rather have a big character for the chance, pull out a Loki instead and mess with the other person that way, which is, I think, better.
All right. Let's see here. Anything about tabletop, I'd like to make it clear that when Jason and I went to L.A., we had nothing to do with tabletop. It was just a fun night of gaming. There was no invitations made for a tabletop. We didn't ask for tabletop. We didn't even talk about that. I wasn't fishing to get on the tabletop. So I've heard nothing, and I'm not expecting anything. I would go, but I don't think... I doubt it.
Honestly, I was glad when I set this up. We both know Rich already because we've hung out with him at Board Game Geek Con and all sorts of places. And
I think it's just Board Game Geek Con, not all sorts of places. Come on now.
Okay, Board Game Geek Con mostly. He was here in Miami, although we didn't hang out with him when he was here. Basically, I was like, well, I could bring Tom out. He'll get to meet Will. And hopefully, since they're doing things that are similar but different, tabletop's obviously more like a TV show, while Tom is doing more of a weekly kind of thing. Or daily thing even with what Tom does with the reviews. I just felt it would be good to kind of get them together so they can meet each other and kind of connect on the professional level as well. And it's funny because we did so much stuff that we didn't even get to talk about the professional level much. But I'm hopeful that there was a connection made and that they could do stuff in the future together.
All right. How does LA compare to Miami? Lots of people say Miami's the Hollywood of the East. It's easier to buy camera equipment in L.A. I wish I lived there. I wish I lived there. I mean, it was like I was like, wow, all these lights. I mean, they had everything there. It was awesome.
That's because they do movies all the time.
Yes, I know. That would just... traffic is better in Miami.
Yes, it is.
Much better. I I think it's more beautiful in Miami, the sky at least. There's no smog hanging over Miami.
Oh, yeah. Miami compared to LA, I'd say Miami's a little better. Even though LA has a few cooler things. The nightlife's better, obviously. You can stay
LA
up much
has
later.
a cool game cafe.
The best game cafe ever.
I don't know. That's the only one I've been to. Well, I mean, outside of Korea. But yeah, we have nothing like that in Miami. We have cool stuff, which is in Broward County, which is north of Miami. It's in Hollywood. Go figure. And that's really good to game in. And we go to a small game store called The Rock, which is a nice place. They let us game there and everything, but I wouldn't call them a great game store because they're mostly for CCGers.
Yeah,
but they're very nice to us, and they let us come there, and it's great. But we don't have like a great game store in the area. We have a game store that shall not be named.
This place, no, that game store. We're supposed to be having a gaming meet up there today, but I didn't go because I don't like the owner, and I've told him.
I've said some things. I have not said that, but I've said some things about this game shop in the past. Jason feels more strongly than I do, I think, about these things.
Basically, I buy lots of games. My collection's like 5,000-6,000 at least games. I don't know. I don't actually log them on Board Game Geek, but he got mad at me because he wants to sell them for full MSRP, and I buy all my stuff from Cool Stuff because you get the 30-35% off discount on every game. Plus, I'm on the top of the Cool Stuff list, so I get the extra 5% on everything. So, of course, I'm going to buy everything from Cool Stuff because I told him I could buy 4 games from Cool Stuff by buying 3 games from you.
This is where we differ. I don't think you should, talk about how great online pricing is to a local board game person.
No, but he's beyond that because he makes you pay every time you go in there. He did all these things that were just... I came from New York originally, and I lived in New York my whole life until the last 3 years when I moved here 3 years ago. And in New York, you never had to pay to go to a game store. You just went to a game store and played. And if you bought stuff, you bought stuff. You never were pressured to have to buy anything. And this guy, you walk in and he makes you pay just to walk in the door. And then he pressures you to buy stuff and says, how can you buy stuff from someone else and not from me, and makes you feel bad? And I'm like, I don't want to feel bad. I want to have fun. We're playing games to have fun, not to feel bad. So
all right. So the answer is Miami's better than LA.
But not compared to New York. New York's still the best city for those of you in New York. I love New York. Are you kidding? I love New York.
All right. Anyhow, predictions for the Spiel des Jahres nominees or winners.
This year?
Here's the deal. Everyone always asks predictions, and every year when they pick their 5 games, I'm like, I haven't even had a chance to even hear about most of the games yet.
I don't know what games they picked, but I could tell you that I think the best game this year of all the games was Concordia. I don't know if it's this year or last year, but Concordia...
That's not a Spiel des Jahres pick. That's too complex.
Well, I don't know what is even the Spiel des Jahres list. If someone could...
No, there is no list. Have you played any game that you think would be nominated? The list hasn't come out yet.
I like Concordia the best out of every game this year. So.
I know what you like the best.
Lewis and Clark also, I think, is amazing.
Well, right, but those are not Spiel des Jahres games.
Spiel des Jahres are Ticket to Ride style.
Yeah. What game have you played recently?
Splendor would be the closest, I would say.
All right.
Have you guys played Splendor? Have you guys seen Splendor?
Are they answering back to us?
Yeah, we'll get tweets back.
Okay, no, that would also have been my pick. I think Splendor is like that. It's a game that could sell a ton of. If WizKids was from Germany, I would say Marvel Dice Masters. Can you imagine?
Yeah, Marvel Dice Masters. I don't think a CCG would ever.
Chase, what's your favorite game
of all time? I actually have a few different. Puerto Rico, Diplomacy, War of the Ring, the two player Old Fantasy Flight. Now it's Ares does it now. Yeah. War of the Ring. So I like a whole slew of different stuff, but yeah, War of the Ring, Puerto Rico, 2 of my favorites. Diplomacy, of course. But lots of stuff, lots and lots of stuff. I used to play Magic a lot, not anymore. I got out of collectible. I don't know how I got sucked into Dice Masters, but basically, yeah, that's my favorite stuff.
Favorite convention?
I have 3 that I go to regularly. I go to World Board Gaming Championships, and that has amazing... The thing about it that I love is that you can go into a room and there'll be, at 1 o'clock on a Friday, there'll be 150 people playing Puerto Rico at the same time, or 200 people playing Liar's Dice at the same time. Well, actually, we got 268 people last year playing Liar's Dice at the same time. And you know that if you want to play a game, there's going to be a whole bunch of other people playing the same game at the same time, and you don't have to worry about finding copies. But, on the other hand, Dice Tower Con and Board Game Geek Con, which are both open gaming cons, love them also. And they're a different style for me, but I was used to going to tournament convention before that, and I love them both. I love at Dice Tower, it's really close knit and it's really fun and friendly. And obviously, people come up to Tom, Sam, everyone. We're all out there, so everyone sees us, and you're like the little mini celebrity. But Board Game Geek also, the good thing about Board Game Geek is it's right after Essen, so all the new Essen games are there, and you get to play everything before they come in the stores. So I like them all. I mean, I'm not a this is good, this is bad kind of thing. I like everything.
I like them all too, but right now my current 3 favorite would be Gen Con because of how gigantic it is. And just the huge buzz it has, Board Game Geek Con and Dice Tower Con for pretty much the same reasons you just said. All right, let's see here. Is Jason trying to make enemies with the city of Cleveland? What did you say about Cleveland?
Nothing. Oh, maybe because I said I like LeBron James, so I guess people from Cleveland are still bitter about LeBron James coming here.
What's the story behind the Tom Vasel? I try not to read this blog quote in Ignacio's book. He asked me to give him a funny quote, so that's what I did. I do read his blog, actually. Let's see here. How does HeroScape play with 4 people? Well, you just split up in teams.
Wait, HeroScape?
It says HeroScape, doesn't it? Yeah, HeroScape.
Yeah, okay.
Have you played HeroScape?
Yeah, of course.
Well, with HeroScape, I mean, instead of, if I'm playing Jason HeroScape, I'll play 300 points against 300 points. If we're playing 2 people, we'll just say 600, 600. You could play 2 people against 5 people, and it works fine.
It's no different when you're playing like Attack Wing or Star Wars X-Wing. You could play 1-on-1 and have lots of ships that you're controlling, or you could play with each person has 1 ship and there's like 10 people on each side, each person controlling 1 ship. So it's the same with any of those kind of build an army games or build a fleet or build whatever.
Whew, we're trying to catch up in questions, folks. On Twitter, we're 10 minutes behind. So Mike says, On the Underground is a game that I don't understand why it doesn't get more love.
I like the game a lot.
No, it's in my top 100.
Here, this is something that me and Tom were talking about the other day. There's games like On the Underground, which was a great game when it came out, and especially because it's got all the neat like train routes and everything, so it's like a little historical and train routes, and it's not your typical, as Tom would say, the Middle Ages game, the Renaissance style. But it came out about 2005, 2006, the original, and there's something with people nowadays where they play a game and people only know games from like a year or 2 ago, maybe 3 years ago, and an older game might not get played nearly as much as a newer game. So unless it gets reprinted, people forget about the game. Like, Cult of the New really does exist.
We have strong Cult of the New here in Miami.
I think it's everywhere, because when I was in New York, it was the same thing. It was Cult of the New in New York. It's everywhere, because people want to try the newest and see how the newest thing is. But there's games that do last the test of time, Puerto Rico.
Okay, but you do like Cult of the New. Because I'll say, Jason, I have new games to play. He is always the first guy to show up.
I mean, who doesn't like new games? But there's still games that, the really strong games. Twilight Struggle is an amazing game and will always be there and will always be people playing it. So there's games that will always stay strong no matter how old they are. But a lot of games just get forgotten. On the Underground is a really good game, though, if people haven't played it yet.
Damien wants to know if my wife minds all the games in the house. Well, as long as I'm organized about them, she is fine with it. I mean, Dice Tower, obviously, now there's a good reason that we have them in the house. When I first got them, we had them in a bedroom. When we moved and had more kids, I moved them to school and had them in my classroom. Then when we moved to a bigger house, I took them back and made a specific game room. And I did that at my last house, too. I had a very specific room, basically a converted garage. As long as they never intrude on the rest of the house, she doesn't have a problem. Now, Jason's house, I just was there this past week, and they're spilling everywhere.
I have a big collection.
But he's not married yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I also have a 10 by 10 storage unit in New York filled with games. So there's games to come. When eventually I get the house here, then there's going to be a game room or 2.
Oh, that's right. You're going to get a new house. All right. What upcoming games are you looking forward to the most?
Upcoming games?
The new Legacy game from Plat Hat Games. The next expansion for Marvel Dice Masters.
Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yes. I want more choices. Other than that, I'm kind of cool with each game as it comes out. What games came out this week? Let's try them out, type thing.
New Star Wars X-Wing minis. I just got the Rebel Transport, and I can't wait to get the the Tantive 4, and then whatever comes out next. I just want more and more Star Wars.
Yeah, or actually, I think we should set up a day sometime, maybe over the next week or so, where we play that Rebel transport ship, because I want to see how it works. Because you have one and I have one, so maybe we could even use two of them and do it.
Two of them escaping together, just like in Empire Strikes Back, because they all go flying out, and Darth Vader's got his guys blowing them up.
All right, what's
Star
a better
Wars...
game for Marvel? Oh, sorry.
Wait.
Oh no,
Star Wars, best movie of all time.
Okay. What's a
Best
better
movie of all
What's a
time.
better game for a Marvel fan getting into board games? Dice Masters or Legendary?
I think Dice Masters.
I think they're both excellent. It depends on the person. If you think they like cooperative games, you play Legendary. If they like competitive, back and forth, Dice Masters.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I like Dice Masters better for new people, but and Legendary is cool, but it's a deck builder. It's a standard deck builder, other than it's a co-op deck builder instead of your standard.
I'm just excited
play against
because
everyone.
if you like superheroes, it is a good day to be playing games.
Yeah, it is. DC Deck Builder also. I mean, there's a lot of... I like DC Deck Builder.
Okay, but there's also... I mean, even if we don't play it very often, but there's clicks.
Yeah, there's the
And
HeroClix.
if you like clicks, I mean, there's a ton of that out there. So anyway, okay, we're falling behind. Did any fun Hurley references pop up during your game with Jorge Garcia?
Actually, it's funny because we walked in the store, or when he walked in the store, some kid comes up to our table and is like, "Do I know you from somewhere?
Yeah.
Have I seen you before?
No, he said, "Have we met?"
Have we met?" And he was really like kind of clueless, and he's like, "Wait a second, you're from Lost, aren't you?" And he's like, yeah, I am." And I know I've been saying this story a lot. I even said it on the Board Game Breakfast. But when Jorge came in, he looked at Tom. He's like, "You're Tom Vasel from the Dice Tower, aren't you? I listen to your podcast every week."
All right. Well, I actually did not make any Lost references or any Alcatraz references or any Hawaii Five-0 references or any, I didn't make any references to anything.
No, we didn't even talk movies.
Because we got into the spirit of the games, really. So I did almost call him Hurley a couple times, though, so I had to be careful of that. What's your favorite game genre?
Genre. I don't know. I mean, I like so many games that I don't think I have one particular genre.
He does lean very heavily on heavy Euro games. He really likes those.
Oh, yeah. Like, right now, even though Tom, I guess, didn't give it quite as good a review, I think that Lewis and Clark is the absolute best game out right now. For those of you who haven't gotten it, it's, let's see, you've got everything. You've got a deck builder aspect.
Everything.
A unique deck builder aspect.
There's no attacking.
You have a racing aspect. You have...
slow race.
It's a slow race, but you have a racing aspect, which actually takes... It reminded me a lot of Hare and Tortoise, which is one of the best racing games ever. And you have worker placement, where you're placing the Indians and blocking spaces with worker placement. So you have a lot of everything. Lewis and Clark is phenomenal. But yeah, I do. I loved Concordia as well this year. If you guys haven't played that, I think it's Matt Gertz's best game. I like his Rondell games. I like Hamburgum and Navigador, but Concordia is a whole different level, and it's incredible.
All right. So, a couple things you need to know about Jason. One, his rating scale goes awesome to terrible, broken. He doesn't have many mediocre games. But when he likes a game, he'll tell me about this game. He'll say, "Tom, you're going to love this game." And then when I don't love the game...
I get mad at him. I do get mad at him.
He's crestfallen over this fact. He doesn't have anything to do with it. Like, he's like, "Tom, you're going to love Lewis and Clark. You're going to love Lewis and Clark." And I'm sitting there playing it, and he was watching because got there and was eating, and I was like, he's like, "You like it?" I said, "No, not really." And he just kept getting more annoyed. "Why don't you like it?" I just don't like it. Okay. All right. Anyway, hang on. Let's see. Robin Hood reprint. I'll talk more about this in the future, but I'll tell you, it's going to be called Sheriff of Nottingham.
It's got a Board Game Geek listing now.
It does, and it's awesome.
And it's on the hot list. It was like number 3 on the hot list when I looked this morning.
As soon as we have artwork and stuff, we are going to post it and talk more about it. Have we tried out Star Realms yet? I have not. Have you?
I just picked it up. I haven't played it yet, but I will be soon. And I'm getting the Board Game Geek promos as well. So
I went to pick it up, and it was sold out. So, all right. So I'll play Jason Scabby. All right. I've been liking more Euros lately. Is my taste changing? No. I like some Euros, and I dislike others. That's just the way it is.
Well, from your list, can I tell you right now, all those games are awesome.
Russian Railroads.
Russian Railroads
Brussels.
is one of the best. That's another game I forgot to say. Russian Railroads is one of the best games this year. Brussels, amazing. Concordia, amazing. Dungeon Pets, that's better than Dungeon Lords.
Well, that's not hard to do.
No, Dungeon Lords was a good game. I like Vlada's games. Vlada is...
Well, I like his games too, but I didn't
Can we go
Dungeon
back to
Lords.
my favorite games, especially since I saw another question about it? Through the Ages. Through the Ages is...
When Jason
in
says
my
through
top
the
5
ages,
games.
he means nations.
No, I don't mean Nations. Nations is the watered down lame... It's not lame, but it's the watered down version. Through the Ages, through the ages, I could play that anytime you put that in front of me, I could play it. It is incredible.
All right, let's see here. Attack wing or X-wing? I like them both the same.
No. X-wing and
But you said it based on one thing.
Tom's going to hit me, and the WizKids guys are going to hate us, but the painting of the minis, it makes a whole world of difference. The painting of the minis...
I don't know, folks. This painting looks pretty good, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It
looks like bad. Look at that.
And I hate to say it, but it looks like a kid painted the minis for Attack Wing. Well, he's got a board cube, which actually looks better than most of them. But in reality, if we pull out one of these X-Wings... Where's your X-Wing stuff? I want to pull one out now and show them.
No, they're in boxes.
The
You're not getting
X-Wing stuff looks incredible. The painting on it is incredible. It looks just like the movie. The Attack Wing stuff looks like it was plastic and a kid painted it.
Okay.
And that's the difference for me. But it's the same game. It's just I like the minis better.
Better co-op, Elder Char or Legends of Andor? Elder Char for me. Legends of Andor is good, but it's more puzzly. Elder Char is like a full experience.
I don't know. That's a tough one to say, but they're both pretty good. I'm not sure which one I like better.
What game is in the biggest need of an expansion? I can't. This doesn't come to my mind.
Yeah, I don't
I've
think
said
about
that before.
expansions. When we play stuff, I don't usually think about...
Well, I love expansions, but I can't think of a game that needs one at this point. I probably have said that about a couple. There's been several games over the years that needed an expansion, didn't get one, and then the game fell off the radar. For example, Battleship Galaxies. Did you ever play that? It was made by the guys who made HeroScape, basically.
Yes.
It was a pretty decent game, but it didn't have enough ships to be really interesting. It needed expansions, and they never came.
Yeah, they
so
made the one box, and that was it.
the game died. Cosmic Dominion is the new expansion for Cosmic Counter. The content is inspired by fans. I'm excited about that.
Sounds interesting.
Hey, we're actually almost caught up on questions. Okay, that was a lie. We're answering questions, by the way, on @the_Dice_Tower on Twitter. So if you want to ask questions, Twitter. When we run out of Twitter questions, then we'll go over to the
because I see some
YouTube.
fun ones. No, I didn't play I Am Bad. I think Tom threw that out before I got a chance to see it.
I didn't throw it away. I sold. No, I paid someone $1 to take it.
He did. That's right. At Dice Tower Con.
It was the last game at Dice Tower Con. I was like, I will give this game to you with $1.
There was a flea market table, and I wanted to sell everything for as much as possible. I was getting mad when Tom's like, just take the game, because I wanted to sell the game, even if it was $1 or $2. I was trying to sell everything, and he's like, Vlad, I am Vlad. I will pay someone $1 to take this, and he did. And I almost ate one of the mints from one-upmanship, but I didn't.
Thank
Tom
you.
threw it out beforehand. We were going to test it out to see if they...
No, I was not going to allow you to kill yourself.
Legal.
I would have videoed it had it happened.
I know you would.
Favorite traditional card game?
Traditional card game?
I'm assuming. Well,
My
what do you mean
favorite-
by traditional?
Well, I like hearts. I like spades. I like bridge. I mean, if you're talking traditional card games...
I like hearts with the... If you use the
Shooting the moon? That's normal.
no, not shooting
What?
the moon. Is it the jack? The jack of the jack of clubs? I think gives you a positive 10 points. The thing that gives you positive 10 points. I think it's the jack of clubs. I
don't
I like
remember
playing that one
that.
where there's one that gives you positive points. There's a card. It's one of the jacks.
Okay.
It's either the jack clubs. It's
That
like a
must be like an
variant.
expansion variant.
No,
I've
it's
never
just
played it
one
that
variant,
way.
and I like it because it gives you something else to go for. And did you play that one I played recently where there was the witches?
Oh,
and
yeah, the new version of Hearts, there's like 4 more cards. Yeah, I like that.
that was good.
It added like new stuff to Hearts.
What was that called? Switched?
It was like
Or-
Hearts, Suar Hearts or something.
I forget the name of it.
It was Hearts with 4 other
You
cards.
can tell we're experts. All right, what are some games from last year that didn't get near enough love?
I don't know. I give love to everything, unless I hate it. Unless I
Oh,
hate it.
come on, that's you know, I would say almost all of them, because they come out, like Jason says, and people talk about them, and then we're gone.
And then they disappear, and then people don't play them again.
I'll tell you what doesn't get enough love. It's War of Indines, or Devastation of Indines.
That's
that is
a great game.
Fantastic two-player game, and not enough people talk about it. Also, Level 7 Omega Protocol does not get enough love.
No, I don't like Level 7. I don't like Level 7.
Wait, not Level 7.
I don't like any of the Level 7 games.
All right.
I'm sorry to say it. Don't like them.
What do you think about Masquerade?
I like it a lot. It a lot.
It's a good game.
Can we talk about the second part? Because you know how I feel.
What are some of your favorite For Duty games?
Bruno Faiduty's an interesting character. We talk about this all the time.
This is baloney.
Some of Bruno's games are really good, but Bruno has this thing where he literally takes a game that is awesome, takes the good mechanics, and then makes a game. Like Citadels was basically Veraider, the same mechanic as Veraider.
Listen.
And turned into Citadels.
This is he took a mechanism. He didn't take the game.
But he takes the core mechanism of, not to say that Bruno's bad, because I like Bruno's games, but he always takes the core mechanism from another game and then turns it into a game. So he unlike my favorite
how is that
designer.
Bad? I don't get how that's
because it's not being creative. It's okay. I found
no,
something.
that is being creative.
But it's the same as the guys who made Dominion. The guy who made Dominion, Donald, made an amazing game. Now everyone else is, let's just make Dominion again. Like,
but they're not like Dominion.
Board.
Oh, yeah,
this
for
is
example,
Dominion.
Do you
like
think
this.
Mage Knight is?
No, but Mage Knight is a very different game.
It has deck building in it.
Okay,
that came from Dominion.
Yes, but that also came from Magic, which had deck building, a different kind of deck building.
Everything comes from something at some point.
Yes, but
it's not like he's wholesale copying. It's not like
he's not wholesale
David
copying.
Serlin who took the game and copied it and added special powers.
David Serlin made On Guard exactly the same, other than special powers, and he made Dominion, but with little chips, which actually people were making Dominion chipsets.
Well, no,
with
I would argue that. What's it called now? I'm about to say the wrong
Puzzle
name.
Strike.
Puzzle Strike is very different than Dominion.
Yeah, but they're very similar. Now, on the other hand, my favorite designer right now is Stefan Feld, where every game of his is unique. Every game he comes up with different mechanics, the way to play the game. To me, that is a quality of a good designer, someone like Stefan Feld.
All right, let's go. There's more questions. Let's see here. Can you enjoy X-Wing with the base and just a couple extra minis? I would say yes. I don't think just the base is going to be that interesting.
You got 2 TIE fighters against an X-Wing. That's
okay. Well, I would buy the base, and then I would buy 2 more Rebel ships and 2 more bad guy ships.
Yeah.
Like I would buy I would buy X-Wing, then I would buy 1 Y-Wing and 1 A-Wing. And then for the bad guys, I'd buy 1 TIE Interceptor and 1 TIE Advanced.
Yeah, you need a TIE Advanced so you can have Darth Vader.
Right, that gives you 4 different TIE ships, and then it gives you 4 different...
And you want
3 different Rebel ships.
No.
Okay, now see, you're jumping off the edge.
I bought 3 of every single expansion. I have 3 Y-Wings, 3 A-Wings.
You didn't buy 3 of the big ships.
No, because you don't need 3 big ships. There's no such thing. There's not 3 Millennium Falcons in the Star Wars universe. There's 1 Millennium Falcon. Why would you buy 3 of them?
How many Imperial shuttles did you buy?
1.
You could have bought more than 1 of that.
No, but only the Emperor flies out around an Imperial shuttle.
No, that's not true. All right.
Not true, but there's no reason to buy more than 1. The big one's 1.
What's the status in Star Trek fleet captains? Well, there's a Dominion expansion coming out. That's all I know. What size shirt do I wear? Well, that's personal. XXL. I could wear XL, I suppose, but it's not very comfortable, so I wear double XL. Do you want to know what size pants I wear? I think it's a 40 with a 34 length. And the size of my head is extra large, or as a lady in Korea told me, it's like a melon.
We know this when we went buying hats in L.A. Tom loved the hat stores in L.A.
I love hats. All right. Should I simply read through all the scenarios if I want to play the full Duel of Ages 2 game right from the start? No, you should go download the Master Rulebook and just learn the rules that way. Let's see here.
Oh, answer this even though it's over here.
I can't yet because of what I said earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, never mind. Do you think the MacGyver TV show could be turned into a good board game?
I'd love it. You use duct tape to put together your stuff. It would be really cool. MacGyver was an awesome show.
So far, this is what I'm saying on that one. I'm saying no, and I'll tell you why. Because MacGyver had all this ingenuity to take things and make things out of them, and he had this creativity. and it's hard for a game to allow you creativity because there's only going to be so many combos. I'm still waiting for a game that lets you take cards and put them together in combos,
Unless
and
the
it creates
game is
something cooler.
No, but it could be a game like you take a roll of duct tape and you take some nails and you have to make a bomb out of them. And that would be the game. Forget about making a board game out of it. Just be MacGyver and make a game called MacGyver. I mean, I love MacGyver.
All right. New Crossmaster expansion. I don't even know what the new one is.
Was there another one that just came out? I
Maybe.
thought that the latest thing was just stuff from the Tabletop Day.
I know that they keep coming out with new small ones. I just haven't. I've stopped buying Crossmaster because I have enough of it now. I'm kind of playing with the stuff I have. All right. Whoops. Let's see. What 5 games do you think I should take time to photograph? Says Scott King. Scott King does the calendar. There's a calendar I have. I'll go get it. Hang on. I'll bring it over here.
Is that one up there in the corner?
Yeah, it's a pretty cool calendar. Even though it says March, so you can tell I've been changing it.
That's because we traveled to LA, so he didn't have time to switch.
It says March, not April. So this is the calendar. So you can see this is the. He does really good pictures. There's seasons, and oh look, that's a great picture of Bruges that I'm never going to be able to look at because now we're into May. Oh, we were just talking about this.
There's the Millennium Falcon that we were just talking about.
And let's take a peek at June. Ooh, that's from Relic Runners. Oh, that's a game that didn't get a lot of love.
Yeah, Relic Runners got no
from
love last year.
Days of Wonder. And then, so he's saying, Carnival? Well, whatever. So what games would be good games that take pictures of?
Marvel Dice Masters with a whole bunch of dice stacked up. Just make a dice pile of Marvel Dice Masters.
Cube Quest.
Cube Quest is another good one.
Let's see here. Games that take good pictures. Caverna's like begging for someone to take a picture of it.
Yeah, Caverna.
Crossmaster Arena we were just talking about.
Yes.
Dungeon Pets, a game I just reviewed. He wants one more game. Looking around. What should he do? Maybe Myth. Myth has some cool miniatures. You have to get them painted, though.
Myth has good miniatures if you paint them.
All right. Let's see here. Thinking of showing live footage or casting a full game, how many cameras would you suggest? I don't know, as many as you can afford, I guess, but it's hard to switch back and forth between them.
Unless you have a director. See, I work in TV, and we have a director, and we have, for our standard shows, we have like 10 cameras, and you're like, boink, 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 take camera 1, okay, stand by camera 2, take camera 2. I get that.
I think he's talking about at home.
But for this...
Sir, get a director.
For this... If you can shoot 2 cameras, you could do everything with 2 cameras. If you have someone actually operating the second camera and doing zooms and doing different things, because then one camera will be a static of your whole thing, your what they call the establishing shot in TV. So you have an establishing shot with your one camera, and then you could use your second camera to focus on different things, like a single person at a time, focus on the board game for a little bit, focus on this, focus on that, and then intersplice those with your establishing shot. That's probably the best way to do it if you have the people to do it and the 2 cameras to do it.
We definitely need to do another live gaming thing. I got the cameras. We did a testing one, so
it's gonna either be
soon
before the end of this month, or it's gonna be in July because I'm gonna be in Brazil and Rio for like almost 2 months for the World Cup. So
so it will be during that period then.
No, it won't be during that period because he wants me back for it. So it'll either be sometime in May or else it'll be after Dice Tower Con.
All right. Sheriff of Nottingham will not be on Kickstarter. Tomas, what's your favorite game themes? Space, pirates, spies, gangsters, dinosaurs, robot dinosaurs, dinosaurs versus spies, dinosaurs versus gangsters. Smash up
everything.
I don't know. I like any theme, I think, that takes me out of this world and puts me in a cool thing. I don't mind playing games where I make.
See, I'm the opposite of theme. Like, to me, a good game is about the game, which is why, like, I saw someone else wrote about Stefan Feld. They agreed with me. To me, if the game is good, it doesn't matter what the theme is. I mean, sometimes the theme helps. Obviously, for something like X-Wing, the theme helps, and you got these awesome minis of, like, the X-Wings, the TIE Fighters. But in general, I would rather have a good game that plays well than worry about what the theme of it is.
All right. Let's see. I know nothing about when Hiroshima Hex expansions are coming out. I have not played Hearthstone. Have you played it yet? It's a card game on the computer.
No, I don't play computer games. I like to actually play games with people in person because it's more sociable. So,
although on the airplane ride to LA, we played Ticket to Ride on the iPad.
Oh yes, we did play Ticket to Ride on the iPad. That's right. That was at the end when I was going to say I fell asleep the whole time, but no, that's right.
I have to say, it does get kind of annoying to keep handing the iPad because both of us play so quickly. We're like, da-da-da, here's the iPad. Okay, da-da-da-da, here's the iPad. It was a good game, though. It was a good game.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to win. Did not.
I won.
Drew the tickets on the second last turn,
and did Tom, we have to tell about my mistake. At the very first turn, I drew tickets by accident because I hit the wrong button because I didn't know how to use the iPad version. And Tom's like, well, you can't take it back. It's too late.
That's right. I need every advantage I can against Jason because he still beats me. All right. Let's see here. What game designer should I invite to visit our boarding school in Denmark to talk about game design and more? Tom Vasel.
I
want to go to Denmark. Also. Come on, no.
Seriously, Reiner Knizia is. If you had to pick one person who's like the legend of the industry right now, it would have been Sid Saxon, but obviously he passed away.
I highly disagree with Jason here. I would get people who've studied game design a lot and talk about it a lot and have a wide variety of experiences.
That's why Reiner.
I would say 5 or 10 years ago, yes, I would have picked Reiner Knizia. Today, I would pick Eric Lang, because he knows a lot about this. Mike Fitzgerald.
Mike Fitzgerald is amazing.
He doesn't design a lot of games, but he knows a lot about game design.
Yes.
Tom Lohman.
Yes.
Rob Daviau. Rob Daviau knows a ton of stuff. Really, any designer who's designed more than 5 games is a good choice. Because they can give you all sorts of things, especially if their designs are all over the place and they do all sorts of things, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Favorite zombie-themed game?
Oh, and Friedman Freest, because he's just fun. Like, he's fun to hang out with. So invite him if you just want to have a fun time.
What is it? Favorite zombie-themed game? My first natural inclination is to say City of Horror or Mall of Horror.
Yeah. Zombie games, unfortunately, most of them aren't very good.
There's some good ones out there. I just played a good one recently. I can't remember what it was now. Smash Up. Yeah. I could say, like, what's your favorite pirate game? Smash Up. What's your favorite robot game? Smash Up. No. Let's see. What's the best way to play games where you need to strategize with your teammate but don't want the other player to hear, like Axis and Allies? You go into the bathroom.
And I'm assuming that, Joel, that you've never played like Diplomacy. Diplomacy, you literally walk away from the table and talk to people.
Oh, so you're allowed in Diplomacy technically to try to eavesdrop.
Oh yeah, you're
on
allowed
other
to eavesdrop.
people.
Which is why we walk into like separate rooms. We walk away. We're like, if someone comes up to us, you're like, go away, or if else you walk around to someone else to try to get it done.
I haven't played a game like that in a while where we had to get up from the table.
I love Diplomacy.
How long did it take for you to get your Geek Chic table? Okay, mine was expedited a little bit because I'm using it for reviews. It's currently around 8 months to a year to get one. You should apply for yours now if you think about it, because you're going to have your house within a year. So you should buy it now. Anyhow, you go online, you kind of pick what you want. They email you back, say, is this kind of what you want? And then they will have someone talk to you, and you will go through and they will talk you through the whole thing. It's like buying a car. They'll talk about all the options. They're really nice about it. They'll go over every detail with you, and when you finally got it down, they'll send you a purchase order, and then you can put a deposit on it, which I think is like 25%, or there's a certain percentage. I forget what it is. And then they'll start working on it, and when it's about to go in production, then you pay the full amount. Then they produce it. They come to your house and set it up in your house. They'll come, deliver it, set it up in your house. And I, unfortunately, was out of state when they showed up. So otherwise, I would have played games with them. I left them a bag of little Dice Tower goodies of dice and stuff. But, so that would have been fun and all. But it's a long process. So if you're thinking about getting one, figure the time in.
It's almost a year. By the time you order it to the time you get it, it's almost a year from what I understand right now.
Why aren't there more Nintendo-themed games? Licensing costs.
Yeah.
All right. Hey! Oh, we almost caught up on our... I'm designing a board game where we're using octagon spaces for movement and for an aiming system. Thoughts? Terrible idea. I don't know. Maybe it's...
No, that would be good. It would be like taking hexes to the next level, so you've got 8 different directions of fire.
You can't do that, though, because you can't put octagons in a grid unless you put squares in between them all.
That's true.
Cathedral.
That's true. Octagons don't line up.
Hexagons are made for a reason. They're the optimal storing thing. I mean, maybe it will work. Maybe there's something there that I haven't heard of, but I don't think so. Okay. Well, remember that we're answering questions at the Dice Tower on Twitter, but we are now caught up. So we're going to go over to YouTube and answer a couple of those questions because those people are like waiting. So Nathan Smith says, how do we send in questions? No. Okay, let's see.
Just write to either Twitter or this.
Let's see. Don't come to Denmark. It's boring here?
No. The questions start at the top. You got to scroll up to start at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Let's go backwards, though, because some of these people probably re-answered them.
No, the top is the beginning.
I know. So let's start from the latest ones and go backwards. All right. Okay, let's see.
Oh, Run, Fight, or Die.
Oh, Run, Fight, or Die. Did you play Run, Fight, or Die with me when I brought the prototype?
No.
I do like Run, Fight, or Die. Essentially, what Run, Fight, or Die is it's kind of like a push your luck dice game, like Yahtzee. You roll dice and you're trying to decide. It will bring zombies towards you, and you can blow them up or shoot them with a shotgun, and or you can rescue people depending on what you roll.
Uh-huh.
And each character has their own special combo that if they roll this combo, it does something really awesome. So you can re-roll dice and try to get what you want.
That kind of sounds cool.
It is, but it's really light. So these zombies are walking towards you. You're trying to get rid of them and maybe hopefully send them towards other people. So, all right.
Merchant of Venus. Merchant of Venus is a great game. I still like the original version.
Oh, they're saying it needs an expansion. Yeah, I could see that.
I like the original version. I'm not as much on the Fantasy Flight modernized, streamlined version.
Is there any game you're currently burned out playing?
Steam.
Really?
Because I get forced to play it way too much.
When do you play Steam?
Every time we're with Don. He only wants to play Steam, and I'm burnt out on it.
Okay.
So I tell him we're not playing it. Every time I see him now, I'm like, no, I'm not playing Steam.
I find that when I get a little burned out in a game, like I got a little burned out on Dominion. And then this past week when we were at the LA Game Cafe, we pulled out Dominion, and I was like, I don't know, I was like, ooh, wow, it's been a while since I played this. It's fun,
Dominion's
to be able to play
great.
it again.
Dominion you could just pull out in an instant.
Yeah, but sometimes you get burned out on playing, I guess, the same game over and over and over again.
Cosmic Encounter, Tom makes me play it way too much.
Okay, first of all,
I'm joking.
No, I don't.
I'm joking.
Secondly, you can never get burned out. All right.
But you could play Dune, which is even cooler than Cosmic Encounter.
Let's see here. Blah, blah, blah. Anyone know of an expansion? Oh, okay. Russia, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. What's the best modern version of Hero Quest? Descent. Descent. No, I think so. I mean,
Descent,
maybe you...
Descent is good. I mean, I don't like the role-playing board games as much, or the dungeon crawl board games as much as the Euros, so I'm probably not the best person to ask the opinion of those, but I do like Descent. I mean, I like some of those, but that's not my style as much as other styles.
Yeah, Descent is a pretty good game. Question from Philip, and by the way, don't forget, questions we'll take at the Dice Tower on Twitter. Have you already played Sentinel's Tactics? And the answer is no. I haven't, although it looks really cool, and I heard it's based on another game that I like quite a bit, the combat system. But I like these guys. We should briefly talk about what's it called? Because I stuck it on my shelf.
What?
Galactic Strike Force.
Oh, the multiverse guys?
Yeah, the Galactic Strike Force is like this. You're playing a game, and you're a ragtag group of ships fighting against an Imperial Empire. And so the game starts out like this. They're like, hey, welcome to the game. Boom! Yeah. You just got punched in the face. I've almost beaten it. Still haven't beaten it.
It's a hard game. It's harder than Sentinels and Multiverse. It's a cool
on the
game.
Easiest level.
It's a cool game.
I do like it.
When we played it, I found all the little things, and I powered up my guy. My guy was super powered, but I left them in the dust. So I was basically Leroy Jenkins, and we lost.
You've done that in multiple games now.
Well, I like
We're
to build my
the
characters
Jason
as
Levine
super
effect.
This is
he did this in Myth too. He's runs out and
I like to go
slashing on people.
When I'm doing that, I just want to go and fight and do it the best. And I Leroy Jenkins it sometimes.
Oh, we're calling it Jason Levining it. All right, but the game itself is it's fun, but it's for a select group of people, which I think Jason and I would include ourselves, because there's a lot of things you have to check. There's lots of text to check. Strong theme, cool mechanisms, and extremely hard. And for some people, they're going to hate that. But I liked it. But it's certainly not for everybody.
I loved the game.
But I still think it's the hardest cooperative game I've ever played. I really think so. But I think the big difference is most cooperative games start out pretty easy and get harder as time goes by.
Yes.
This one starts out harder and gets actually
easier as it goes.
A little easier as it goes because you get more powerful.
Yes.
All right. So anyway, that was not anything to do with Sentinels of Tactical.
Let's go back here.
Why are comments disabled on the live feed?
They're not.
I don't think they are.
Did we screw something up?
I don't know.
Oh, someone asked about the 24-hour gaming experience. We're fixing the live feed.
I don't think it's messed up.
Someone just asked about 24-hour gaming experience. I loved it. I love gaming. I could go all day and all night. When I'm at conventions, I play till 3, 4 in the morning, sleep for like 3 hours, wash up, and then I'm back gaming again at like 8, 9 in the morning. If you guys really wanted us to do another 24-hour one, watch his face.
No, it's not happening.
I would do another 24-hour one. If you guys really want it, just keep writing in and saying you want it.
There's only 2 people who want to do it, you and Sam. I am no.
That's 2 of us. We're gonna force him to do another 24-hour one.
How is that? How are you gonna force me to do it?
Because we're gonna get all your viewers, all your subscribers to say do it 24 hours again. It makes it so much better.
Okay, I understand that the people themselves might want it, but I don't want to do it. Maybe we'll do a 12-hour.
How about 16? How about we compromise?
No, that's not a fine. Then I'm starting at 2. We'll do 2 hours.
We'll start at like 8 in the morning and go until like 2 in the morning. It'll be almost 24 hours.
I don't even play games that long. Okay. Anyhow, comments are working fine. Comments are not disabled. Oh, okay. Well, anyhow, what's the best way to punch out cardboard?
Oh, ghost stories. What's the way to punch out cardboard? See,
from the side with the grooves or the flat side? I try to punch out from the flat side.
I always punch out from the flat side, yeah.
Because if you punch out from the grooves and
then the flat side, the paper rips. You always punch from the flat side, so from the back forward, because then the paper doesn't rip. And I'm very, very careful when I punch out my stuff. I like to keep everything really neat. Unlike Tom, who just flops things around and drops it on tables, I like to keep my game very neat.
I really drive Jason crazy. He
does.
Tried to organize my Marvel Dice Master stuff alphabetically, and I was like, well, I don't really care. But I'll tell you this, though, companies. Make your stuff easy to punch out. Seriously.
Yes, and Victory Point Games, stop laser cutting. I hate getting dirty when I punch it out, and one napkin isn't going to do it. I love Victory Point Games. I love a lot of their games. For the Crown is one of my favorite games. Dominion. It's like Dominion with
He's sitting
chess.
there like, Tom, I got to go wash my hands. And he goes.
Every time you play one of the games, you get dirt on your hands. And I hate that. So I really hope that they switch methods for future games. Because I like Circus Train a lot. I like their games. I just hate the dirt.
All right. Let's see. Where are we? I love when you get a game and it comes and there's all these stuff punched out in the box.
There you go. Look, 24-hour once a year as a Kickstarter thing. Yeah, once a year we should do a 24-hour. I agree. During the Kickstarter campaign, that would be a good idea. Instead of, we could do shorter ones for Tom for most of the year, and for the Kickstarter campaign, do the 24-hour one.
Okay, so anyhow, which Carcassonne expansion should you get first?
Oh, I don't know.
The Catapult.
The Catapult is good. They're all good.
I'm just kidding.
I have the whole set. I don't know which one to get first because I have everything for it.
Okay, if you're going to get one first, Traders and Builders is the best one. It gives a bunch of cool tiles, and it adds a really neat trader guy who, when you put him out on a road, if you add a tile to that road, you can then play another tile.
Yeah.
And that makes the game a little bit more fun. I believe it also comes with a pig, which is completely unnecessary. That's not the trader piece.
Princess,
it's the builder piece. I'm sorry.
The princess, the dragon. There's all these different pieces.
But But what I'm saying is, in this particular expansion, it also had little grain tokens and things in cities, and you only got those if you were the person to finish a city So it encouraged you to finish stuff even if you did not
Yes, I
do
remember
so.
that one.
So I like that. All right. Do I have any further info on the Space Cadets game away missions? I talked to Mr. Bonacore this past week, and that came up in conversation, and basically it's going to be like a dungeon crawl where there's going to be missions that you have to accomplish. I'm excited about it. Hopefully it sounds good. Let's see here. Game that you played that took up the most space. He played Eclipse with 9 people, and Expansion took up 3 tables.
The game that I played with the most space, World in Flames, the full thing.
You played the full thing of World in Flames?
Of course I have.
What do you mean, of course? How was I supposed to know?
You know that every time I say that I played a game, you always say, how was I supposed to know? Yes, I played the full World in Flames, Down in Flames, World in Flames, everything out. And yeah, it took up like basically my friend's attic on lots and lots of table space. So yeah, that was probably the biggest space of a game that I've ever played. Not including big versions of other games. Like I played with the big Seven Wonders set that
well, yeah,
Asmodee brings
I played with the
around.
big Seven Wonders set. For me, the game that takes up the most space is probably a tie between Heroescape. When you set Heroescape up and it set up a huge thing of it.
Oh yes,
but
yes.
Twilight Imperium with both expansions takes up a lot of space.
Twilight Imperium does take up a lot of space, but Twilight Imperium, I like it. I saw someone ask me if I would play it. Of course I'd play it. I have played it.
You just don't get invited.
Yeah, I don't get invited for some reason when they play it. And actually, you guys haven't played it in forever, so it's not.
How do you know? Maybe we just played it.
Okay, maybe they played it and didn't invite me. Maybe that's what it is. But no, I like Twilight Imperium. Actually, another game that I'm trying to think of games that took up a lot of space now. The flicking racing game that always takes up a lot of space. Pitch cars, Carabande pitch cars, that always takes a lot of space, but it's a lot of fun. So yeah, pitch cars another one that takes up a lot of space, but I don't know what category you'd put that in.
See, I consider pitch car in the same category that I would put a ping pong table in. You know,
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like that thing you bring out at parties. You know. Okay, have we played Magic the Gathering co-op challenge decks? I have not. Have you? I never even heard of it.
No, I played Magic from 93 to 95. I stopped. I bought up to Antiquities, Legends, and Arabians.
So how many black boxes do you have?
I sold them all for a lot of money back in the day.
Really?
I would have sold them for a lot more if I would have kept them until now.
Yeah, you would have.
I still, back in the day when I was a poor little guy just starting out my career, I sold them for a lot of money at that time. So I'm not going to complain at all about that. But I stopped when they got to the dark. I was like, this is too much, and I stopped. But I had everything. In fact, I still have my little gold border, the little box with all the gold border original 300 cards somewhere packed away. And I still have all my lands and all the commons because the guy only wanted my Moxes and my Black Lotuses and stuff when he bought them from me. So I'm like, are you sure you don't want them all? He's like, no. I'm like, okay, just take what you want.
So did you get robbed then?
No. Let's see. At the time, I got lots and lots of money. I got a free Panasonic 3DO system with every game. And I got a whole bunch of other stuff. I was like...
How much money was it? Tell me. Do you remember?
It was over $10,000 at the time.
Really?
Yeah. And do you know how much I spent for all my Magic cards? About $350 when I bought them when they first came out. And that's how much I got for them.
There's so many of us at that time in our lives go, man, if only we had bought one box of boosters.
But the same $10,000 I got,
box.
If I could have sold that same $10,000 worth of Magic cards today, I probably would have got $150,000 for them today.
Yeah, probably.
That's what's crazy about it.
But there's also inflation, so maybe it was worth $30,000 when you...
That's true. Inflation-wise, I think I made out good because that was back in the early 90s.
All right. What's your favorite worker placement game? Wants to know Garth.
My favorite worker placement game? Well, I like Lords of Waterdeep a lot. I know it's simple, but I really like Lords of Waterdeep a lot. I like Agricola.
What about the Big Daddy, Kalis?
I like Kalis. I do like Kalis. I don't know if it's the Big Daddy. I like Puerto Rico better. I like Puerto
Rico's not a worker placement
and
game.
Princes of Florence. But I know they're not worker placements.
So why are you changing the subject?
But Kalis to me doesn't feel like a worker placement game either in the traditional sense.
You put a worker on the board. You take the action of where you put him.
I know.
How is that not a worker placement
Because you
game?
also have the guy racing and then things get chopped off, and it's not worker placement in a sense like the way Agricola has a certain spaces and you put them down and everyone takes them up.
Well, you said Lords of Waterdeep. What about Yido? Do you like Yido better?
Oh, I like Yido a lot. It's different. I think Yido's a better game because it's got the auction stuff in it. It's better than Lords of Waterdeep, yeah. They're both really good, though. Russian Railroads is the newest worker placement I think is really good. I love Agricola. I mean, who doesn't love Agricola? I like it better than Caverna. Because Caverna, you have the same shits in every single game, so it gets played out. While Agricola, you have different deck every time. Of course, some people get more powerful than others, but Agricola's still probably one of the best worker placements of all time.
All right. Philip says he likes simple card games like For Sale and No Thanks. Any other recommendations? Although those would be the first two. Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale.
Sushi Go.
Simple games. Modern Art. Modern Art's very simple.
Modern Art, the card game, is
Modern
superior
Art
to Modern Art is not a simple game.
Yes, it is.
No way. It's an auction game that if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose the game and cause someone else to win.
True.
That's not simple.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but it's to me.
Modern Art, the card game, I thought was a better version. It's a simpler version.
I like them both. I'm trying to think of other simple games. Yeah, I can't think of simple games. I don't know if it's considered simple, but if you have 4 people, just rip out Tichu and just play Tichu for hours on end, which is always fun. I don't know what I'd consider the simple games, though.
Have you played the Call of Cthulhu LCG? I have not.
I played the base set, and that was it.
Did you like it?
It was good. I don't usually buy LCGs.
Really? You don't buy any of them? You don't play...
I'm not a big fan of... After I got rid of my
That's not
Magic
collectible,
stuff,
though. LCG is different.
But it's the same. It's the... You got to keep buying. You got to keep buying. Of course, you get everything with it. Which
X-Wing miniatures.
Yes, I was going to say X-Wing's different, but that's because it's got cool minis. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't buy X-Wing.
Marvel Dice Masters.
That's only because it's still core. Even though I'm mad at them because of their collectible Marvel Dice Masters. You have to buy a full case of 6 boxes to get the complete set, which is way overboard. I would have rather paid the $100 and gotten a complete set of Marvel Dice Masters for $100 than how it worked out. But it is what it is.
All right. Glenn wants to know if I thought of a convention to bring together all the Dice Tower contributors. It's called the Dice Tower Convention.
It's in Orlando in July 4th.
But see, no, it's not true, really, because it doesn't bring together everybody. I meet all the Dice Tower contributors, likely, at some point over the course of a year. Some of them I meet at Origins. Some I meet at Dice Tower Con. Some I meet at Gen Con. And a lot I meet at Board Game Geek Con. You know, different people can go to different things.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
Oh, can I answer something from that Joshua just wrote? He's asking about why he needs the expansions.
No.
There's a regular expansion out now called Young Turks. And
Young Turks for nothing personal.
For nothing personal. Why he needs the expansions? So, do you want game designers? He's got the Young Turks expansion actually has all these game designers. It's got Bruno Faiduti and who else is in there? Every game designer,
Matt Leacock.
So if you want a cool deck with where you can play with all game designers in your game, it's awesome. And eventually, I'll have a card. And according to our nice meetup, there should be cards for Rich Sommer, Will Wheaton, and Jorge Garcia coming out soon too. Once everything gets squared away with that, so there'll be some really cool characters you'll be able to get. Which makes it cool, because don't you want to play with cool characters? Have celebrity cards that you're playing with?
I like to play with characters with cool powers, but yeah, I don't mind this stuff too. Someone just posted a review of Nothing Personal where they said it was a vanity project and that the whole, it was obvious I designed the game just to put my face in it. But if they had told me, you can't put your face in this game, I would have said, okay. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, I made my guy a guy who dies. In every game he's in, he will die. So I guess if that's a vanity project, then so be it. I just thought it'd be funny to let as many people kill me as possible.
See, I don't know how many people out there are more old school like me or who have played for years and years and years, but the first time I played it when Tom's like, I need you to play test this game for me, which I always tease him because he forgot to put me in the rulebook as a play tester.
I did not forget. Deliberate omission.
I went to I demoed it at cons for him and everything. And the first time I played, I said, wow, this is like a streamlined version of Kremlin and actually better than Kremlin. And I really like it because I used to love Kremlin, but Kremlin had those flaws of having to write down your characters and all this stuff. So the fact that Tom turned it into a better game than Kremlin, where you put the influence on the board and everything, is really good. I really like how it came out.
Kind of you to say. So let's see. What do we look for in expansions? For me, my one thing I always look for in expansions is more stuff. My favorite expansions are usually, not always, but usually games that just add cooler things, more options. I don't need the expansion to take the game to do something else. A good example of that is El Grande. El Grande is a great game, right?
I never even played with the expansions.
The expansion adds like going to America,
adding Portugal and stuff.
And it's like
I never.
You don't even need all that.
There's one expansion that's good for El Grande. The original expansion, where instead of using the 5 decks of cards, you have the deck from 10, 20, 30 to 180, and you pick 13 of those, and that's your
No, that I agree on.
That's the best expansion for El Grande.
But see, that changes something. It's hard to explain. I don't know. I don't like when expansion always adds this, hey, this is a cool thing to do. Like for Cosmic Encounter, each expansion for Cosmic Encounter
has new powers,
has more aliens and has some new rules. And almost always we like play the new rules and we're like, oh, okay, those are fun, but whatever. We just want the new aliens, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what I look for in expansion. Well, we're gonna have to shut this down in about 5 minutes or so. So, any last questions? Get them to at the Dice Tower. Have I been to Essen? You've not been to Essen yet, have you?
No, I haven't been to Essen. I could fly out. The problem is there's always elections every year in November, and Essen comes right before that, so it's hard for me to get out of work at that time of year.
Although Jason has agreed this year to go to Gen Con.
Yeah, I got talked in. I'm going to be at Gen Con at the Dice Tower booth. We're going to have a nice little surprise at the Dice Tower booth, so everyone who's going to Gen Con...
Okay, that's true. I just don't get your it's not what you're thinking at all.
Awesome. You guys will love this. They're collectible. They're souvenirs. And can I say a little more?
All right. So
and they're yummy.
All right. How is your robot game coming along? I've totally put it aside for now. What's better, Volt or Robo Rally? Probably Robo Rally, but Volt is also quite good. They're kind of different games. You haven't played Volt yet, have you?
No, I haven't. But Robo Rally is one of my favorite games also. I love Robo Rally. I could play Robo Rally end on end. I even bought Duck Duck Go, which is like the simple rubber ducky version of Robo Rally. And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I like Robo Rally a lot. I like programmed games like that. Also, a game that we haven't talked about, 18X series. 18X series, like 1830, that whole series. Love it, love it, love it. If you put me down in front of an 18X game...
What does that have to do with Robo Rally?
I don't know. I just wanted to talk about 18X for some reason. Because people are asking here what my favorite games are.
All right. Let's see here. Do you prefer theme? We already answered that. I'm theme. He's mechanism. That's where it's at. All right. Well, I think we're caught up on Twitter questions, so we got a few minutes to answer non-Twitter questions.
Someone asked me here about two-player games. I actually like two-player games a lot. I lean heavier than Tom in a lot of games. I mean, I play the light games. I love Coup, the Resistance, all that stuff. But two-player games, I really like Twilight Struggle, War of the Ring. I like Star Wars Queen's Gambit. I play all the card-driven games. Paths of Glory, even, like the heavy stuff. Wilderness
I like Twilight
War.
Struggle.
Yeah. Twilight Struggle. We the People. I had the original We the People when Avalon Hill first produced it. I love those kind of games. Hannibal. So if anyone has a card-driven game and they pop it in front of me, I'll play it with you. GMT, I really like their company a lot. I know it doesn't get talked about as much because they're heavier, but I like GMT.
He doesn't play everything, as I found out, though. The other day, he refused to play a game, which is like the first time I could remember him refusing to play a game.
What game was
it? You would not play Conquest of the Planet Earth, and that was
because Flying Frog.
Say it again.
Frog. It's a tongue twister.
Franklin Frog.
Flying Frog games. Their games are, I hate to say this, but their games are awful. And if they didn't take pictures of their friends and put live pictures on all their games, what would they have? I don't really like
first
their
of all,
games.
Conquest of the Planet Earth does not have the pictures on it. Secondly, you played it once and you played the competitive version, and I told you that the cooperative version is better, and you should have tried it, but he would not. So we ended up playing
something else.
Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale, which is fun.
Fairy Tale is a fun game.
Ender's Game. There is an Ender's Game board game out right now. It's a two-player game. And
wow! Have you played it? I haven't played it.
Yeah. It's good. It's fun. It's light, but it's fun.
Well, everything from Cryptozoic.
And Glory to Rome and Race for the Galaxy, San Juan, Fleet. Those are really good deep card games for Alexander asking about that.
No, he says what other games? If he likes those deep card games. What about that new one that came out from Asmodee last year? You put the people in between the cards.
Spyrium. Spyrium, really good game. Spyrium's really, really good.
Yeah, it's a pretty potent game. There's a lot of stuff in it, and it's pretty easy to set up and play.
Innovation's amazing.
Jason and I have some great games of innovation because we're just wailing on each other the whole time.
Yeah, and we try to power up to level 10 as quick as possible, so you just try to skip through those levels and get to level 10, so you're the first one with like all those nuclear powers and everything. Oh, Z's also going to have a card for Nothing Personal for whoever asked.
Okay, so all that being said, it's time to wrap things up. We'll do questions in the thing. I'll have different people on this. I might have Jason. Maybe I'll have on... I already had on Sam and Z. Maybe I'll have them on again. Maybe I have all three of them on at the same time, in which case Jason will get pounded at some point.
I don't mind. Whatever happens.
But Jason's always willing to come over and play anything, which I'm always appreciative of. I have at least 5 guys in my game group, I think, who will play anything I bring to the table. But Jason grumbles the least, although he'll tell me when it's garbage.
I have no qualms about saying what game's garbage.
He really likes Rogue Agent.
Sorry, Steve Bonacore. I absolutely hate Rogue Agent.
Okay, shush. I've already said enough bad things about it. All right.
But I do like Stronghold games. I like a lot of their games a lot. Like Space Cadets and Dice Duel and Going Gone. So, Steve, your games, you have a lot of really awesome games.
All right, guys. Until next time.
I played Impulse, by the way, whoever asked that. Okay. And it's really good.
Okay, we're never going to get to all the questions. It's impossible.
We can keep going.
Do
we need to stop, or can we keep going for a little bit?
We should always stop. Keep people wanting more. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
Jason Levine.
And you have been watching, guys, the Dice Tower. Come back next week. Board Game Breakfast, lots of videos, another Dice Tower, another top 10 list. We're doing our top 10 games that we would like to see totally tricked out. We'd like to see a deluxe version of these games. What 10 games are those? You'll find out this week. And I have not yet.
We're still going because
I have not yet. Okay. Well, yeah, because you have to. For some reason, YouTube logged me out.
Weird.
So
we're still live. We're still live and going.
We're not live.
No questions to ask, but we're still going.
I'm stopping streaming now.